In Update 45, Rosalia has been given damage buffs across both of her abilities. So, with this in mind, is a 2-tower chimps with her possible, with the help of the Prince of Darkness? Now keep in mind that this combination has already been done, and I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video as to where you can find proof that round 100 has been achieved with this combination, and that is the clue as to the round which is going to give me so much trouble. Throughout Rosalia's upgrade progression, she will eventually get the means of her laser gun becoming a plasma gun, which is going to be our only means of damaging the DDT effectively on round 100, because the pod's graveyard by that point would have completely depleted, which means no zombies in order to actually damage them. I also heard that Icicle Impale and Rosalia is theoretically possible, but I've heard from other players that there are two certain rounds which are absolutely abysmal beyond recognition, which is rounds 95 and round 98. Round 95, because of the sheer amount of camo ceramics which will spawn from the DDTs, and mind you, the Icicle Impale with the top crosspath, or the middle crosspath mind you, doesn't do anything about removing the camo status from balloons, which would be kind of nice to have so that Rosalia can then attack the balloons which would otherwise be camofied, but that's only with the top cross path, as in super brittle, but then there's no damage against the bad there, so there is that. Thankfully, our access to popping purple balloons comes quite early at level 2, so we do have a chance in this once round 25 comes around, when the only thing that you have are, well, at first, no means of popping purple balloons with what we've got at the moment, and just a laser gun. I'm not joking when I say this, but when Update 45 released, the first thing that I actually tried to do, aside from 2 mega pops with top path mortars on Ancient Portal, was trying to get a combination of Rosalia because of the fact that she now has damage buffs all across the board. But of course, it all comes down to that one last round, which I have a huge ass 6-hour recording of it just attempting round 100 and getting absolutely nowhere with the DDTs. One point I managed to turn them into ceramics, but that was like right underneath where these trees are on the left hand side most of the map, and by that point it's too late anyways. Which I honestly think it comes solely down to Rosalia's blowback attack from the plasma gun that she fires out. And from there, being able to time it so that you can actually get the knockback shot in place so that you have the maximum amount of value out of it, so that then they are still within a place where Rosalia can still attack them with her plasma gun. Depending on what's on the title will depend if I have succeeded on round 100 or not, but sometimes, or all the times, the journey is just as important as the destination. With any tower and hero 2-tower chimps, the most important thing that you have to do before anything else like upgrading your hero using money is to get your tier 5 or your ideal maximum upgrade of a particular tower, so that then you can start investing into your hero. And round 98 is just absolutely abominable when it comes to numbers. The numbers game of everything that's going on throughout that round and trying to micro all of the balloons there. It's just not a fun time all around. I haven't been able to get through round 95 myself with Icicle Impale and Rosalia, so I can't imagine what round 98 is going to be like. Round 97, round 99 and round 100 should be free. Also trying to get through round 37 and round 51 was definitely very fun, because camo ceramics can sometimes turn into zebra balloons and ice balloons, so getting that icicle luck in place is certainly a very, very fun venture. In the comment sections below, I would like for you to put down what your favourite features of Rosalia are throughout Balloon's Tower Defense 6. Maybe it's a jetpack ability, being able to fly towards whatever you got your priority set to at that given point in time. Maybe it's her different guns that she can deploy at any given point in time, so either her grenades or her laser/plasma gun. Maybe it's her voice lines and being positive, and every time you have a defeat screen she's like, "Come on, we can do this!" Inspirational stuff. Okay, round 50. So we are very close to getting ourselves the pod in place. And also when you like Papa Moab, she is very inspirational. And she says we rather than I. Just forget that you saw that. I pressed that in panic thinking I had enough of the Prince of Darkness and I saw a glowing green button there. That's what happens when you're not paying attention. Also going to move the spawn point of the zombies so that then they're all going to be popped within the radius of the pod. One thing I would like to change about the pod, and I know this is incredibly nitpicky and specific, but I would like to change when I would like zombies to spawn from the pod. So let's say in this scenario, it would be much more ideal for the pod to spawn DDTs around 100, not when the bad is out, but when the insides of the bad are out. So therefore you have much more control over the spawning of these zombie-esque balloons here. But then again, I know that that removes some of the skill aspect if you're able to micro that sort of thing very on a technical level. So that in a way is not good, but I don't know. I was just thinking this scenario, I prefer to have that. But I know the other side of the argument, sorry. Now that we do have the pod, we're going to invest all of our money which we have left, which I've done quite recently, into Rosalia's levels. And we should be able to get to level 20 on round 95. Bubble balloons, no match for me zombie army. And there goes the last 45 mode, round 63. I don't picture Energize Rosalia being possible because round 99 consists of fortified DDTs, and I think they just have too much RBE for both Rosalia and the Energizer to be able to take care of them. I don't think you can get enough knockbacks from the plasma gun in order to actually get through that round. Try and contain all of the DDTs into one area so then you can just concentrate all of your plasma fire onto them. I don't see it happening. As always, I'm incredibly grateful for everybody who has been using my creator support code Flare Balloons so far. It has been a great time always doing these kind of videos, regardless if we succeed in them or if we end up with not quite succeeding, but learning some important lessons throughout the journey of how far we have progressed within this particular combination. What about round 76? Not a problem. There's not really much to show in round 78 just because, once again, we have this really powerful tower that deals with these like first 80 rounds or so just on its own. Rosalia is a great teamwork monkey, supporting us and other monkeys in order for them to do their best. And when we give them that game over screen, it is not the end of the journey. Okay, so I think honestly, the ZMG is going to be the first real threat here if we don't use Rosalia's abilities and her attacks. Just because the pod is not very good against ZMGs. And I also think as well, fortified BFBs to a certain extent is not very good against. Especially like in the 90s. Let's bring the last so that then your kinetic charge connects to the last visible BFB on screen. So then you take all of those down and it makes this a bit easier and get our graveyard filled, that is. Our graveyard filled. And I forgot to do some leveling up by manual insertion. Okay. Get the scatter missile up and running. Make sure they don't go too far. Fortified BFBs could be a little bit of an issue here with I was going to say a lack of damage, but it's definitely not a lack of it, but it's just how that damage is distributed. And sometimes it's not that well distributed in some of these runs. 84. Another round which shouldn't be too difficult whatsoever. Yeah, round 82 is much better than round 84. Just because there's a lack of fortified balloons to contest against. Kinetic charge, jump pack, and when you're able to use your scatter missile ability as well. Okay, definitely need these to be popped as soon as possible because our graveyard will soon run out. Scatter missile, destroy the first DMG, so then you go back up to 3,000. And hopefully this one should be a little bit easier. They get destroyed by both of their towers. Yes, heroes are a tower. Round 86 is also to be done. A few knockbacks from Rosalia's plasma gun, and we're good. Okay, round 87. This is going to be a bit more challenging because there's 4 of these ZOMGs, which means we've got twice the amount of PS to try and compensate for, and more than double the amount of RBE just because of the RBE progression throughout the rounds. Round 88, this shouldn't be too difficult at all. Put you on strong so the kinetic charge targets the ZOMGs, and honestly we're going to use it on the, well, use scatter missile on them as well, and we should have enough sufficient damage to where we can go through this round. Because since it's been preemptively loaded with graveyard matter because of the Moabs and BFBs, that is pretty good. More manageable than 80... I was supposed to say 83, 85 for having ZOMGs. I don't know where I was going with that sentence there. Right, our graveyard is running out. That's not good, and you're not generating BFB zombies, which is not good. Not good whatsoever. Come on, please. Come on, please. DDTs, just go down, please. There we go. Round 95 shouldn't be too difficult either. It's honestly, round 98 is going to be our next really difficult round. We'll put you on strong so the ability goes to the ZOMGs, and hopefully that will do us some justice there when it comes to also dealing with these fortified Moabs, which just has done a good amount of. Now it's just the rest of these to try and clear up. Level 19 is in sight. Rosalia's attacks are improved. Grenades have larger clusters, and lasers deal even more damage to Moab cluster balloons. I am fine with all of those. Okay, round 92 is being cleared up. Just like that. Just as long as they're all within the range of a pod when they die. Okay, round 93. Do not trust DDTs at all. Round 94. Once again, summon the kinetic charge onto the first ZOMG there, so they go down a bit more quickly. That was a poor use of scatter missile, but at least it stunned those ceramics. Oh gosh, that was really close towards well, seeing the game over screen. Alright, move the zombie spawn location and we should be good here. Okay, we can move you back a little bit closer to the beginning of the map and move you back to near the end. Oh gosh, zombie spawn microing is such a thing, even a thing. Also, Rosalia level 20. Hell yeah! Do you mix up Rosalia with like the Pokemon Rosalia or the Super Mario character Rosalia? Because I have definitely done so at least once, and that is round 95 cleared. What, you think these fortified Moabs are a challenge? Well, if the 30 DDTs weren't a challenge, then what chance are these a challenge? We're facing some difficulties on this round, though. Maybe I should change the spawn point of our undead army. But things seem to be going very well here with just what we have going on at this given point in time. We're going to scatter missile, because that does a lot of damage to Moab class balloons now. Take them all down to a reduced size. But there's also the matter of the rest of the horde to clear up, and we should be good. That's a lot of Moabs though, but there's a lot of carnage going on there. Okay, Rosalia, you're going to move over here. You're going to have your abilities summoned, for goodness sakes. Jetpack, scatter missile, kinetic charge, because you're going to take a while to take down anyways, and Rosalia is our best damage dealer against them, believe it or not. Okay, maybe I should not have used all of those abilities then and there. Okay, I'm going to move you up there so then these are not popped too quickly, because I would like my abilities back for round 98, but again at the same time as the balancing of the undead army and all that jazz, I would like you so that you're popped within the range of... Are you going to be in the range? Oh crap. Oh, we managed to have a full graveyard, that's okay. I would say, do we have a full graveyard for that? Because I don't know. I honestly do not know with these things at times. Okay, so I might have done goofed early on at the beginning of this by trying to pop all the ZMGs too quickly. I also think we need to get the ball rolling when it comes to all this sort of stuff so we can start the actual dispersion of these using the plasma gun. Oh, that's a lot of ceramics. That's a lot of Moabs right there. We should hold off from using kinetic charge because there's little use in that, but yeah, one kinetic charge use and the rest of them have to be the scatter missiles.
Attack my target. Right. Oh, what? Ooh, wait.
Hello, that does it. That does round 98. Took a little bit of fettling there, but we're good. But now we got fortified DDTs to contest with, which is never a fun venture to try and go down, even with the pod. On the easiest map can be very challenging, but that knockback should be the thing that enables us to go through this, but we do have a little less graveyard to work with, which is not good. Let's just say that it's not a good thing to have less graveyard than more graveyard when you have the pod as one of your two towers in a chimp scenario. Although now our strategy is just use our abilities and hopefully get the band popped as soon as possible while definitely having a charged shot sooner or later so that then we can knock back the DDTs once they're decamouflaged. Oh, for goodness sakes, one more shot after, please. One thing I did read in the patch notes is that, specifically it's about the maximum damage that the kinetic charge can do. Now note that it has a maximum damage, which means it also has a minimal amount of damage in which it can do as well. So I honestly think I'm being screwed over by RNG, where I'm always getting not the maximum amount of damage from the kinetic charge itself. Because you could do your micro perfectly, but when the game decides how much damage you're doing based upon a RNG sort of aspect, then that is really unfair. Oh my goodness sakes, it had the white bandages around it. Perhaps I needed to not do the jetpack there, or do it when it bends around to the right there, because that plasma blast, like that knockback one, that was great timing, because that was just after when the bad popped. What was that pushback on the DDTs? That was pathetic. No, I just can't get enough damage. You saw how much I laid waste to those DDTs, and it's like if there's just a lot of damage which is not there for Rosalia. It's just, it's not fundamentally possible. Oh, Rosalia, why did you turn that way? Oh, for goodness sakes, there's so much RNG involved in this. Even if you have the perfect setup, it all depends on which way Rosalia decides to steer her jetpack. This is so RNG bullshit. Yeah, I'm done with this. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm really sorry, but I can't do this. I've been at this single round for over 2 hours. I can't get the setup right. So yeah, on that note, I'm really sorry, but it's just, I'm not using up any more time to try and do that round. It's so RNG dependent with her jetpack behavior. It's still not been fixed, Ninja Kiwi. Her jetpack is so inconsistent. It doesn't follow the frontmost target. It always goes behind them or something along those lines. I'm not expecting a perfect laser grid where it follows around the track in a perfect rectangle, a perfect circle, perfect anything. It just feels like it goes so off kilter, her jetpack, where her ability to be able to actually respond is just still very, very minimal at times. And even if I've done like a 2 mega pops and no harvest on cornfield, that was a painful process. But at least I had something that helped me along that journey, like let's say an MIB and a call to arms and a homeland defense, where there are elements within that scenario, and then also stuff like glue gunners as well. There were elements in there which were still in my control. Whereas when it comes to the flight pattern of Rosalia herself, there is such a little amount of control in which the player can do, because you're entirely reliant on the programming of the game in order to do the thing in which you want it to do. And when it's not down to you, but it's down to the game deciding if you are going to or if you are not going to succeed, then that is functionally unfair. But at the same time, there's always some kind of configuration involved in which I don't have the skills for. Like, I'm not very good at this game, and I keep saying that because I'm not. I'm really sorry, but I'm not. Like, I can entertain and all that jazz, but there are certain scenarios which I'm just not functionally able to do. But thank you all so much for watching, everybody, and hope you all have learned something from this. I certainly have, and that is to never touch a 2-tower chimp scenario of Rosalia ever again, unless, of course, I want to waste multiple hours of my life on the same round. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care of yourselves.